You came back. Maybe from a trip, maybe from a stretch of long work days, maybe from weeks of being home physically, but emotionally, somewhere else. And your dog feels different now. Not always distant, not always dramatic, not always obviously upset. Sometimes they still wag. Sometimes they still follow you. Sometimes they still sit, eat, play, and do everything that looks normal. But something is off. There's a little pause before they come close. A little more checking. A little less softness. A little less of that easy trust that used to be there. And that can be hard to admit. Because most people think trust in dogs only breaks through one major event. A harsh correction. A scary experience. A betrayal you can clearly point to. Sometimes that's true, but often, trust fades more quietly than that. It fades through inconsistency, through too many rushed moments, through connection that only happens when you have extra energy, through absence without enough repair, through a relationship that starts to feel unpredictable from the dog's side. Not because you're a bad owner, because life gets busy, life gets loud, life pulls your attention away, and dogs feel that shift long before humans name it. So today, I'm going to show you 6 actions that help your dog trust you again after you've been busy, emotionally unavailable, or away from home. Not tricks, not manipulation, not how to make your dog like you again. Real actions that rebuild emotional safety. Stay to the end, because action number 6 is the one most people skip, and it's often the difference between a dog who still obeys you and a dog who truly relaxes with you again. Welcome to Hound Halo. If you want to understand your dog at a deeper level and build trust that still holds up when life gets messy, subscribe right now. Let's get into it. Quick reminder, you cannot guilt your way back into your dog's trust. You cannot rush it back. You cannot buy it back with toys. You cannot force it back with obedience. And you cannot rebuild it by being intensely affectionate for one day and emotionally gone again the next. Because trust, for a dog, is not built from intentions. It's built from patterns. Your dog is not asking, "Do you feel bad? Do you love me? Did you mean well?" Your dog is asking something much simpler. Are you safe to read again? Are you predictable again? Can I relax around you again? That's why this video is not about blame. It's about repair. Because the good news is this. Dogs are incredibly capable of reconnecting. But they reconnect through repeated experience, through consistency, through calm evidence. Here are the 6 actions. Action 1. Let your dog reapproach you at their speed. What it looks like. You get home and immediately want to reconnect. So you call your dog over. You bend down fast. You reach out quickly. You speak in a bright voice. You pet more intensely than usual. Or maybe after being busy for days, you suddenly decide, tonight I'm really going to make it up to them. So you come in with a lot of emotion. And your dog responds, but not fully. They come close, then move away. They wag, but their body stays a little tense. They accept affection, but they don't fully melt into it. What it really means. When trust has been stretched, intensity can feel confusing even when the intention is love. Your dog may not need more emotion from you. They may need more clarity. Because if your energy has been inconsistent, sometimes absent, sometimes rushed, sometimes overly intense, your dog often becomes more careful about contact. Not because they stopped caring, because they are checking whether this moment is actually safe and readable. What most owners do wrong. They push harder, more baby talk, more reaching, more kissing, more pressure to reconnect on human timing. But pressure is still pressure, even when it looks affectionate. The one action that helps: slow down your entry. When you come home or re-engage with your dog, do less first. Pause. Turn your body slightly sideways. Soften your voice. Let your hands stay calm. Allow your dog to choose the final step of contact. That moment matters, because when your dog gets to close the distance instead of having it closed for them, they regain something important: choice. And choice is one of the foundations of trust. If you've been busy or away, don't begin repair by demanding emotional closeness. Begin by becoming easier to approach. Action 2. Rebuild through small, predictable rituals, not big, guilty gestures. What it looks like. After being unavailable, you try to make it up to your dog in bursts. A long play session, one night. A big weekend outing. extra affection after a guilty day. Then the next day, you disappear back into work, stress, errands, screens, and fatigue. So your dog gets a pattern that feels like this. A lot, then a little, then nothing, then another burst. Love is there, but rhythm is not. What it really means. Dogs do not measure trust by isolated highs. They feel what repeats. One amazing afternoon does not erase 10 inconsistent days. And when connection appears in unpredictable bursts, many dogs become more watchful instead of more secure. They start tracking you more closely, following you more, monitoring your movement, tone, and availability. That may look like attachment, but often it is uncertainty. What most owners do wrong. They try to compensate emotionally instead of stabilizing relationally. Big guilt, big effort, big moment. But trust rarely returns through one big moment. It returns through repeatable moments. The one action that rebuilds security. Create 2 or 3 simple rituals your dog can count on. Maybe that's a calm greeting every morning, a short sniff walk at a similar time, 5 quiet minutes together at night with your phone away. Not long, not dramatic, reliable. To a human, these may seem small. To a dog, they are anchors. And anchors teach your dog, you can find me again. I do come back. Connection is not random anymore. Predictability restores trust faster than compensation does. Action 3. Stop mistaking obedience for reconnection. What it looks like. Your dog feels a little off with you, so you start leaning harder on training. Sit, down, come, place, heel. And yes, your dog may perform well. They may respond quickly. They may look back on track. They may seem more controlled. But something still feels missing. They obey without softening. They comply without settling. They follow cues, but they do not fully relax in your presence. What it really means. Obedience and trust are not the same thing. They can support each other, but one does not automatically create the other. A dog can understand your commands and still feel emotionally unsure of you. That distinction matters. Because when owners feel distance, many of them reach for structure. Not because they're harsh, because structure feels measurable. Trust does not. So they try to fix the relationship through performance. But your dog is not only asking, "What do you want me to do?" They're also asking, "How does it feel to be around you?" What most owners do wrong. They over-focus on visible behavior. They think, if my dog is listening again, we're good. But listening is not always the same as feeling safe. Sometimes a dog becomes more compliant because they are cautious. The one action that changes the relationship. Spend time with your dog without asking for anything. No commands, no tests, no performance. Just quiet, shared presence. Sit near them while they rest. Walk with them without turning it into a drill. Join them in a calm moment without adding pressure. That kind of contact tells your dog, I'm not always approaching you with an agenda. You do not have to perform to be close to me. You can just be here. And for many dogs, that is where trust starts coming back. Quick check. Which one sounds more like your dog right now? Action 1. They seem hesitant when you suddenly get affectionate. Or, Action 2, they seem extra watchful because your attention has been inconsistent. Comment 1 or 2 below, and stay with me, because action number 4 is where a lot of trust is either repaired or quietly lost again. Action 4. Repair tense moments instead of pretending they don't matter. What it looks like. You've had a hard day. You rush your dog. You get impatient at the leash. You use a sharper tone than usual. You move with tension. You correct harder than you meant to. Then later, once you calm down, you act normal. You tell yourself, it was only a moment. They're fine. Dogs live in the present, but your dog's body may still be holding that spike. And if those spikes happen often without a clear return to safety, your dog starts experiencing you as emotionally unstable. What it really means. Trust is not damaged only by mistakes. Trust is damaged by mistakes that never get repaired. Every relationship has ruptures. That part is normal. The question is not whether tension ever happens. The question is whether your dog experiences a path back to calm after it happens. What most owners do wrong. They either ignore the rupture completely, or they flood the dog with guilty affection right after. Both can feel confusing. Ignoring says, that tension meant nothing. Overcompensation says, my energy is still unpredictable. Neither one creates clarity. The one action that restores safety. Use a simple repair pattern. When you realize you were too sharp, too rushed, or too emotionally flooded, first, regulate yourself. Second, create a little space. Third, return with calm, readable behavior. That might mean slower movement, softer handling, a quieter tone, a simple decompression walk, or sitting nearby without pressure until your dog's body softens again. Repair is not a speech. Repair is an experience of the environment becoming safe again. Your dog does not need perfection. They need to learn this. When tension happens, it does not stay chaotic forever. That rebuilds trust. Action 5. Build calm shared experiences, not just fun ones. What it looks like. When people want to reconnect with a dog, they often think they need more excitement, more toys, more play, more adventure, more stimulation. And sometimes that helps, but not always. Because a dog can enjoy an activity and still not feel deeply settled with you. What it really means. Trust grows strongest in moments where your dog feels safe, unpressured, able to regulate, comfortable in your presence. And those moments are often very ordinary. A quiet decompression walk, sniffing in the yard while you stay calm nearby. A gentle grooming routine, sitting together in the same room with no pressure to interact. A peaceful evening wind down. These moments may not look impressive, but they communicate something powerful. Being with me does not always mean activation. It can also mean relief. What most owners do wrong. They confuse bonding with stimulation. They think, if my dog looks excited and happy, trust must be rebuilding. Sometimes, yes, but for stressed or uncertain dogs, too much activation can cover over tension instead of resolving it. The one action that deepens connection. Create one daily ritual built around shared calm, not as an occasional extra, as a dependable pattern. 10 quiet minutes after work. A consistent nighttime settle routine. A slow hand-feeding moment. A calm, sit together before bed. The exact activity matters less than the emotional message. When we are together, your system is allowed to come down. That message changes relationships because safety is remembered in the body. Here's the hard part. Your dog may recover from your schedule faster than they recover from your energy. You can be home more often and still feel unavailable. You can give treats, walks, toys, and training and still feel hard to trust. You can mean well and still feel emotionally inconsistent from your dog's point of view. That's why Action 6 matters so much. Because this is where trust stops being a technique and becomes a pattern your dog can live inside. Action 6. Become more emotionally predictable. What it looks like. Your dog never fully knows which version of you is walking into the room. The warm version, the distracted version, the rushed version, the guilty version, the overstimulated version. The tired version with no patience. And because dogs read human energy so well, they start adjusting before anything even happens. A faster footstep, a sharper exhale, a clipped voice, a tense leash hand, a sudden reach. To you, these may feel small. To your dog, they are information. What it really means. Dogs trust humans most when human behavior becomes legible. Not perfect. Legible. They do not need endless cheerfulness. They do not need constant affection. They do not need you to perform softness. They need you to be readable. Because readability creates relief. And relief is where trust grows back. What most owners do wrong. They focus only on what the dog should do differently. But they skip the deeper question. What does it feel like to be around me right now? That question changes everything. Because your dog is not only responding to your actions. They are responding to your emotional climate. The one action that transforms trust. Choose one part of the day and make your energy intentionally consistent there. Maybe it's the moment you come home. Maybe it's leash up before a walk. Maybe it's the last 10 minutes before bed. Make that moment steady. Same pace, same tone, same movement, same calm sequence. Day after day after day. Not robotic, reliable. A predictable human is deeply regulating to a dog. Sometimes more than extra affection. Sometimes more than extra play. Sometimes even more than extra words. Because your dog is learning whether your presence feels safe to rest inside. And that is trust. Recap. The 6 actions in one clean list. Let's lock this in. If you want your dog to trust you again after you've been busy or away, let them reapproach you at their speed. Use small, predictable rituals instead of big, guilty gestures. Stop mistaking obedience for reconnection. Repair tense moments instead of pretending they didn't matter. Build calm, shared experiences, not just exciting ones. Become more emotionally predictable. If one of these hit hard, don't panic. This is not a judgment. It's a map back to safety. Here's the deeper truth. Your dog learns your relationship through patterns, not promises. Through tone, through timing, through whether closeness feels safe or uncertain, through whether your presence creates tension or relief. That is why trust is not just about love. It is about what your dog's body expects around you. Do they have to monitor you? Do they have to brace for your shifts? Do they have to work to find connection? Or can they soften? That's the real question. When you've been busy, absent, overwhelmed, or emotionally inconsistent, your dog may not stop loving you, but they may stop fully resting in the relationship. And rebuilding that rest is one of the kindest things you can do. Not by being perfect, by being clearer, calmer, more consistent, more readable, because your dog does not need a flawless human. They need enough repeated moments that say, "You can trust what happens next. You do not have to chase me emotionally. You do not have to brace for my chaos. I am here in a way you can understand." And when that becomes true again, you'll see it. Less hesitation, softer eyes, faster recovery, more natural closeness, more ease, not because you forced trust back, because you made trust possible again. For the next 7 days, keep it simple. Pick 3 things. 1 predictable check-in. 1 calm, shared ritual. 1 moment where you deliberately slow your own energy before interacting with your dog. That's enough to begin. You do not need a dramatic reset. You need repeated evidence. And 1 responsible note. If your dog shows intense fear, worsening withdrawal, aggression, or sudden behavior changes, especially after a stressful event or long separation, consult a veterinarian or a qualified behavior professional. Support is part of good care. Now I want you to do one thing. Which of these 6 actions does your dog need most right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Comment the number below. And if you want more videos that help you understand your dog's mind without harsh methods, without guilt, and without drama, subscribe to Hound Halo. See you in the next one.